Well, thank you for joining us. I am super excited to present that we are partnering with the West Tennessee STEM Hub is partnering with May ROV competition to have a competition this May in our new Mid-South region at the University of Memphis. So I want to talk about everything we're going to go through, but first I want to welcome Dennis Courtney. He's actually listening over the phone, but he's with Steamworks Studios, and he is a huge help to us, and will be able to answer a ton of questions if you have any. But he is a director of a nonprofit, and he's really helping us get this off the floor. So if you've been with us for a while, we tried to start our own mate competition last year, but then COVID hit. So we are now in a good place. So I'm going to talk about kind of what we're going to do in our new region. So the agenda for today, we're going to talk about our new regional coordination team. We'll kind of do a mate overview, our game plan to host an actual competition. We'll talk about some resources, our goals, expectations for you, from us, and what we expect from students. We'll talk about funding, because I know that can be a big deal for some schools. And then we'll talk about some more important dates. And then we'll follow up with a Q&A. Next, thank you. So this is the Mid-South coordination team for, which is us. So I'm Sharon. I'm a junior civil engineering student, and I'm really excited to be a part of our very first mate competition.
I'm Jake. I'm a graduate student at the University of Memphis and a coordinator for the West Tennessee STEM Hub. And I'm also really excited to be on the mate team. Talon, you're next.
I'm about to just turn on my microphone now. Hi, everyone. I'm Talon. I'm in engineering and technology, and I'm a senior, and I'm very excited to be on the mate coordinating team. So we're excited for it.
Hi, everyone. My name is James. I am the newest member, to the mate team. I am a freshman biomedical engineering student at the University of Memphis. I'm excited to be here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Ross. I am a second-year mechanical engineering student here at the University of Memphis, and I'm very excited to be working with you all.
Hey everyone, I'm Thais. I'm also a STEM ambassador for the West Tennessee STEM Hub, and I am a junior in biomedical engineering at the University of Memphis. And I'm also excited to see what this year has in store for us in mate. So the first thing that we want to talk to you all about is what exactly is the mate ROV competition. So it is an underwater competition, a robotics competition that uses remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, and requires students to solve real-world problems. And in doing so, it requires them to apply their scientific, engineering, and technical skills, as they not only have to build the ROV that can perform the underwater tasks, but there is also a business component to the competition. MATE requires students to think of themselves as entrepreneurs because they have to manufacture, market, and sell their product to a panel of judges. The competition has been around since 2001 and has regional competitions all over the world. And if you look at this map on the left, you can see where some of these regionals are located. A lot of them are in the US, but there are some all over the world. So it's a great opportunity for students to network with students from other places. Now we're going to show you all a quick little video. It's actually 7 minutes long, but we're only going to show about 5 minutes. And it just does a really good job at explaining the components of the competition and giving the student perspective.
So I'm going to talk about we call it the game plan. It's basically the timeline of the competition itself. So we have not nailed down a date yet. And the main reason is because the rec center at the University of Memphis is under construction. So we won't have a pool to use there, but we were trying really hard, and we have several different options around the city to get a pool. So we're still negotiating a date with a couple of these places, but we're looking at either May 22nd or 29th for this. So deliverables for this project. So you'll have 2 to 4 weeks before the competition day, an engineering presentation. And so this is, MATE calls it a technical brief of your company. And it'll be a 5 to 10 minute presentation followed by a Q&A session. And we'll talk about how all of this can work with COVID after, but this is just the general deliverables for the competition. So you'll have that engineering presentation where you'll go over your robot and your company. Marketing display, we're making this optional because it can be a lot of work, but if you have a really big team and you want to make a marketing display, this will be a PDF that's basically just selling your robot and your company. And we'll have a separate competition category for that and just award best marketing display. The technical report that focuses on technical and safety aspects and innovations of your ROV. And this is a 10-page paper max. And 2 parts of it I want to highlight. There's a systems integration diagram that shows how everything your robot will work together, and safety documents as well. And then there's also a company spec sheet. This is a 1-pager, really easy. There's the manual for the Scout class competition, which is what we're doing. They have 4 competition levels. Scout is entry level, which we're doing because it's a brand new competition for us. There's a whole manual that lays all this out really clearly. And there's a list of things for the company spec sheet. And it's just boom, 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 just fill in the bullet points. And that's it, super easy. The night before competition day, we will have a safety inspection of your robot. And then on competition day, you'll have a product demonstration. So you'll be given some tasks that you have to complete. They're all underwater, and your team will have to complete all of those tasks. So how this is going to work, MATE gave all of these options for how to do each of these components. And I'm just going to break down the virtual side of it because it's pretty self-explanatory. Of course, everything will be all masked and socially distanced as is necessary and required, depending on how things look at the end of May. But so virtually, how this would work. So engineering presentation, doing it virtually. Your team would basically record their presentation on Zoom or Teams or whatever platform you use and upload that. But they still want us to have a live Q&A session. So this would be probably a Zoom call where your team would be questioned by judges about their robot and their company as well. Marketing display, this is pretty straightforward, just design it, submit it as a PDF. The safety inspection, doing that virtually, would be a little tricky. There's 3 options. So either a regional coordinator, so one of us, or someone from Dennis's team, which I forgot to mention this. Dennis, who's on the call, hosts the Appalachian Highlands Regional, which is in East Tennessee in the Tri-Cities area. And he's going to bring a whole team of people to help out with the competition. So one of them and or one of us will come out to your school and inspect the robot and do all of that things. So that's one option for the safety inspection. Another one would be a video demonstration. So where your team could just walk through all of the safety steps. It would have to be a single shot, a single cut, and there would be a way that we would verify that. The other would be a Zoom call. So someone on your team would Zoom from their phone so they can move around and show all of the robot parts. So we have decided to go with this hybrid option, which you can see that has in-person safety inspection, product demonstration. Oh, I didn't talk about the product demonstration. So this is a tricky thing to do virtually because it would require all of the teams to have access to it on their own. And it would be pretty much the same as the safety inspection with those three options, where we would either send someone out to observe the product demonstration, or you would make a video or do a live Zoom or Teams kind of call. So we're going with this hybrid option. So the engineering presentation will still be pre-recorded and uploaded, and then we will have a live Q&A session. Marketing display, which is optional, you would just submit a PDF for, and then the safety inspection and the product demonstration we would do in person. And for COVID protocols, MATE has laid this out really smoothly. The Egypt regional pulled it off last year. And I think Southern California, it also has a pretty solid plan in place. So basically this would look like one team at a time goes through. We would use an outdoor pool, and everyone's masked up, socially distant, and outside. So yes, that is it. Now I'm going to pass it to Terry. She's going to talk about a lot of the resources that MATE, the international organization, has provided for teams.
Hi, so I'm going to talk about resources for you. So right here is a website, educate.materovcompetition.org. And with this link, teachers or anyone else who wants to learn more about MATE ROV competitions can learn tips, tricks, and hacks, how to build a ROV, more about pufferfish. And I will go to this website right now. Hey, Jake, can you take me to the website and then I request control again?
Sure. I think the issue was I was only sharing PowerPoint instead of the screen. So I think if I share this. Okay, try it now.
I think it's about to open. There we go. So here is the website I was talking about, and you guys will have access to this PowerPoint, I believe, afterwards. So you have access to this link. And sorry, it's kind of laggy on my end. That's bad Wi-Fi. For tips, you'll see things like how to think beyond PVC, so different materials, how to avoid short circuits when soldering, and I believe we are going to have a workshop on how to solder properly and safely. And then like buyer beware, make sure that what you're buying is waterproof and it's actually waterproof. When it comes to tricks, you will see that you can know about cheap toggle switch improvement, emergency plugs for leaks, and then like again, buyer beware to make sure you are buying the right waterproof stuff. And for hacks, you'll see more buoyant materials, so like pool noodles, pipe distillation foam, won't cut it. So you can buy that at the dollar store. You can buy that at your local pool store that we have around in Memphis. Really, these materials are accessible, and measuring water temperature. So then when it comes to learning more about the pufferfish itself, you go to instructions, and this is for instructors and mentors, and you scroll down and you find pufferfish. This will tell you what comes in the kit, explains how the kit comes, it shows how the control system is actually enclosed, and then it will let you know that the pufferfish is semi-reusable. So let's say you want to come back another year, you do have some of your parts left over for another year. And how do I go back to the PowerPoint, Jake?
Just hit the minus at the top right. And then presenter view at the bottom.
It's cut off of my screen.
Okay.
I actually don't need control for the next part that I'm about to say, so you can do that.
There we go.
There, thank you. So we're also going to have MATE workshop series with Appalachian Highland Regional, and that is with Mr. Courtney. And they have a YouTube channel as well if you wanted to go check that out and see and learn more about it.
Okay, so now we're gonna talk about goals and expectations. So James, this is you.
So first, I want to thank all of you teachers that are on here and all the teachers that are going to be viewing this. You guys being here is already accomplishing some of our goals. And as all the other team members will agree that you guys are a very important part of all of this, and none of this would be possible without you guys. So our first two goals kind of go together. The first one is to host a MATE competition, and the second is to establish ourselves as a regional and reoccurring competition in Memphis. And like Jake had mentioned earlier, there isn't currently a MATE competition that is close to the Memphis area. You would have to drive a couple hours. So by us establishing this competition in the Memphis area, it makes it more feasible for the teachers around the Memphis area. And then we also don't want this competition to be like a one and done. We want this competition to last. We want it to continue on for many more years to come, and to have you guys keep coming back and creating more teams. Another one of our goals is to expose students to STEM. Like Shannon mentioned earlier, this is more than just a robotics competition. There are business aspects, presentation parts, soft skills that all go into this competition. So really showing the students the different aspects of how all of STEM applies to this, and then also bringing awareness to the marine focused careers and efforts that can go into the MATE ROV competition and that are possible for the students after. And then lastly, but definitely very important, is to have fun. We intend this competition to be more than just fun for the students. We also want it to be fun for you guys as teachers and for all of us as we're here. We want you guys to see all the cool things and all the skills that we can get out of the MATE competition. And yeah, just to have a good time doing it. So now I'm going to pass it to Thais to go over the expectations.
Thank you, James. So we're going to go over what we expect from you and what you all can expect from us. So first of all, we expect you to create a team. We can't have a competition if we don't have any teams to compete. So we hope that you all will create teams to bring to our competition. We also expect you all to attend all of the STEM Hub hosted MATE events, such as this meeting. And we'll also have some more informational meetings and some educational workshops that Sharon will talk about later. We hope that you attend all of them and expect you to. We also expect you to use all of the resources that we provide you with, especially the MATE Educate website that Terry took you all through. There are so many valuable things on that website. If some of you are thinking about implementing the competition into your curriculum, there's a great resource on the MATE Educate website that will show you how you can involve the curriculum into the competition. We also expect you to communicate with your regional team, and that's all of us here from the STEM Hub. We want you to talk to us. We want you to ask us questions. We are here for you. We are here to do anything that you need. So we expect you to communicate with us 100%. We also expect you to realize that this is a student competition, and your role as a teacher is to be the coach and the cheerleader. So because this is a new competition, your students will need help every step of the way. They will need you to guide them. They will need you to show them how to build a robot, how to do all of the technical stuff. But at the end of the day, their deliverables should be their creation. They should be the ones making the prototypes, running the tests, experimenting, coming up with all of their spec sheets, all of that stuff. It should all be the students' work, not your work. And like I said, we expect you to ask questions. And like James said, we want you to have fun. So now what can you all expect from us at the STEM Hub? Like I mentioned, you can expect support every step of the way. We are here to guide you. We are here to provide you with anything you need. So again, reach out to us if you have any problems at all. We also plan on providing some educational workshops, and you can expect these to be about topics such as buoyancy, how to use a soldering board, soldering kit, all of that. You can also expect additional support from us. So if you are having, a little bit more trouble with your teams, building the ROV, whatever it may be, you can reach out to us and we can send an ambassador your way to work with you hands-on and your team. And also, we are going to provide all of the materials that you need. So the pufferfish kit, which is one of the most important parts of the competition, because without the kit, you can't build your ROV and you can't compete. So we will be providing the pufferfish kit for you at no cost, as well as other supplies like your tools, your soldering kit, PVC pipes, pool noodles, whatever you need. And of course, funding. We don't want money to be an issue at all. So we will provide all of the funding that you need. All right, let's go to the next slide. Next, what do we expect from the students that will be competing? So we want them to compete, of course, and to compete, they need to have their ROV that can perform the underwater tasks. So we expect them to build a ROV on their own, of course. We also expect them to learn about running a business and entrepreneurship. MATE has a really big emphasis on this part. And again, it's not just about building the ROV and doing the tasks. It's also about establishing themselves as a company. So like Jake mentioned, part of the deliverables is a spec sheet, also marketing display, just products that will show us that they know how to work with business. We also expect them to work efficiently in teams. So, there shouldn't be any teams with just one student on the team. There should be 2 or more students on the team, and we expect them to work well together. And along with this is developing interpersonal skills. So they should develop verbal skills, nonverbal skills. They should learn how to listen to one another. They should learn about presentations, and they should learn how to problem solve, because throughout this entire process, they are going to come across a bunch of roadblocks, and it's going to be their job to think critically and figure out how to solve the problem. We also expect them to network. And this year is a little bit untraditional in the sense that the teams won't be able to talk to each other as easily because of COVID and restrictions and social distancing. But we do hope that they get to network at least a little bit. And of course, they always have the opportunity to network with us, ambassadors. We also want them to embrace their creativity. No one is going to have the same ROV or the same deliverables. They can follow, the same kind of guidelines and steps to build the baseline for the ROV, but ultimately everyone should have their own unique ROV. So we really want them to tap into that creativity. And lastly, and most importantly, we want them to have fun. And this goes for the teachers, the mentors, the students, everyone should have fun. This shouldn't be a stressful or overwhelming competition. If at any point it does get to be too much, we are here to help you with anything. I can't emphasize that enough. We don't want this to be stressful at all. This should be fun. And yeah, we're here for you. So now that we've talked about expectations, I'll pass it on to Talon.
Awesome. Thank you, Thais, for passing this along. Yes. So we're going to talk about funding. This is one I know important part about any team thinking about what's the funding going to be, what's the cost going to be. But we have something special for spring of 2021, and you're going to see just a minute. So Jake, you can move on to the next slide. All right, thank you, Jake. So look, let's go through it right quick. So the registration fee is waived. The workshops are free. And we're going to give a shout out to Tennessee Valley Robotics because they're providing the pufferfish kits and extra materials that your team might need as well, from the PVCs, from the soldering iron, and from the actual circuit practice board. And that is something truly incredible. And that's something that you might not get in the next upcoming years or so. This is something special that is happening only for spring of 2021. I want to let you know that because we're going to go and see right now. Let's go to that donut chart over here and see from the latest event that may actually have this one of the last events and see the cost that you have to pay as a team. So let's go through it. The registration fee, $50. Okay. Then you have the actual puffer fish practice board, that's $6.50. Then you have the puffer fish kit, that's $250. Then this is a rough estimation here for the PBCs because it depends on how much you need for your team. That's $15. Then this is another rough estimation as well for the soldering iron. That's $25. You can find some, for $10. You can find some up for $30. Now, because you want the basic kit, there's some for $100 some, but we're sticking with basics here. But all that grand total of $346.50. Now, compared to zero, I mean, it should be a kind of like a no brain situation to understand why it's important to get onto the MATE ROV Mid-South Regional Competition because it's free. Free compared to $300 some, there's no comparison. And that's what we want to tell you guys. It's very, very important to be a part of this actual competition. And that's all I have right now for you guys. And I'm going to pass it along to Sharon, and we're going to go from there.
Actually, Jake, will you go back to that slide real quick? So thank you, Talon. I loved everything you said. So yeah, I do want to stress that, the pufferfish kit, so that's specific to the scout level. So kits get more expensive as you kind of go up in level of difficulty. And but it's also important to know that even though maybe you're not ready, say you're not ready to start with us this spring, because of COVID, maybe the timeline stresses you out, maybe you're not ready. If you get started with us, these pufferfish kits are reusable. Like some of the components are reusable. The things that aren't going to be reusable is going to be the like the control box, which is how you actually maneuver your ROV because you have to like solder all these circuits together. So a lot of this stuff is reusable. Your frame is reusable. You can keep a lot of this stuff. So yeah, but we are so grateful to be able to provide all of this to our teachers, to our schools for free, because we are just super happy to be able to start our own region. So to do that, they are supporting us to establish the Mid-South region. And so yes, free for y'all this spring. So please join us as we host our very first competition in May. All right, Jake, you can move on to the next slide. So I want to talk about some important dates. Just remember, our competition date is not set in stone yet, and that is because we are still trying to finalize our pool. Once we have that pool finalized, we will let everyone know. But we are looking towards the end of May, either the 22nd or 29th. I also want to let you know that once we find a pool, we are going to try and host like days where your team can practice, because if you're building a mate ROV, you want to be able to practice with it before competition day. So we will work with schools and teams so you can make that happen as well. So our next meeting or workshop, whatever that ends up being, we are going to plan for March 19th. That's in 2 weeks on a Friday. For that day, we'll have an idea of the teams that want to register, and hopefully we can also get you all of your kits distributed to you, all the supplies you will need, because on March 19th, I want to talk about the rules of the competition, supplies, the safety component, and the competition book that is also part of the supplies that I don't think anyone mentioned. So I'm also going to talk about pufferfish information that could be important, understanding the mission tasks for the scout level. So I believe there are 3 different mission tasks. And I want to talk about teacher milestones. So teacher milestones is something that our coordination team thought would be a really good idea for teachers in schools in the Mid-South region. It's really just a timeline for all of our teachers to follow along with so they don't get behind. It is already March, you know, competition's in May. We already have a delayed start, which isn't ideal, but the scout level is super easy. I built one in 2 days. It was just a team of me and one other teacher when I went to a workshop. So it's not hard to build. It's not super time consuming, but it would be nice to have time. And so the teacher milestones, it's really just a step-by-step timeline for you and your students if you need something a little more broken down for you. And then Friday, March 12th, which is next week, we would like for all of the teachers or teams that are interested to complete a survey so we can have an idea of who we need to reach out to give kits to. And then coming soon, we are going to have a website. So we're going to have our own Mid-South region website, which is linked directly with MATE ROV. And then with our West Tennessee STEM Hub website, we're going to have our own MATE page where you can meet our coordination team. We may put up a calendar of events, and we'll have some resources and super important information for you. And as for the actual scout level, I see some stuff in the chat. So we are hosting scout level competition, and it is open for K through 12. There are no restrictions on your teams. You can have as many as 8 on a team if you really want to, just no less than 2 is all we ask. Elementary, kindergarten, high school, it doesn't matter. We really just want anyone and everyone to come join us on our very first MATE competition. So there are no big restrictions. It's just gonna be a lot of fun, and we look forward to really having people join us on this fun journey. So I guess do any of y'all have anything else you want to say before I open up maybe to Q&A?
Well, I was just gonna say, I am posting a link to a form online. So if you would, teachers, just fill this out. It's really simple. It's just your name, email, school, a couple of other questions. And even if we had a survey a couple weeks or months ago, but even if you filled that out, please fill this out as well. We're still waiting on the official registration. That will be through the MATE organization. And that is pending a competition day, which is pending a pool venue to have. So we're just going to use this survey as a placeholder until then, so we can still know who to keep in the loop about all of our MATE stuff going on.
And there's a question on how many pufferfish kits you get per school. So it's really going to be based off of teams. We're really trying to get this up and going. So if you have a school and you've got 2 teams, we'll give you 2 pufferfish kits. We want you to participate. And so we're willing for this first year to really make that happen and hope that you come back every year. So if there's not anything else, I do want to move over to the Q&A. Dennis Courtney is with us. You know, he's with the Appalachian Highlands Regional, and he knows a lot about the MATE ROV competition. He's going to bring a team with him to our competition to teach us how to do it correctly as well. So max number of teams per school. Jake, did we ever decide? I don't think we really put a limit on it.
I don't think we did. So there is a limit to how many total pufferfish kits we will provide. So I think we're gonna start at 1 per school, and then depending on demand and supply, you can have multiple. How does that sound?
If you end up having a ton of teams, we may just ask you to consolidate them depending on how many schools decide they want to register. So we're kind of playing it by ear right now because again, we don't have a real registration set up just because that all depends on our pool. So we can always get back to you on that. Are there any other questions or maybe concerns that you have? I know Mr. Booker has talked about sea perch before, and he's asked me personally why we went with Mate ROV. And really it comes down to our partnership with Tennessee Valley Robotics. They've been such a big help to us that they've made it possible for us to have any kind of underwater robotics competition. And so that's why we decided to go with Mate ROV. So, anyone want to add anything?
Sharon, I do have one question.
Of course.
When y'all were talking about the marketing display,
Yeah.
It would be, you were saying it would be done virtually. It sounds like, is this, are you describing an infographic that in a, say, 11 by 17 infographic, it's going to give an overview of the actual Mates ROV that this team built and describe it and kind of give the overview as far as touch on the items as far as the safety and the design and that thing?
Yeah, so typically before COVID, what Mate ROV has done is it usually looks like those big trifold poster boards for science fair projects. And so it's basically that being condensed into like a PDF form. So yes, I hope that answers your question.
As far as the content on the marketing display goes, we just wanted to showcase all of the aspects of the vehicles and the team as a business as well. But once you all get the Scout manual, so there will be more specific information on what is required in the marketing display.
And the competition manual, you can access it directly from the Mate ROV website. It is very extensive. And if you do decide to do the Mate ROV competition with us, we're going to ask that you kind of read it and skim through it. So just because there's a lot of information in there, but they do a really good job of really breaking it down of what you need to know, what you need to include. So if all else fails, try and find it in there. But if you can't, email me. Any other questions?
I have one. Prior to competition, is there any place that we can go and practice for our students? I mean, with our students before the competition?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you don't have access to a pool yourself, we are going to try and host like a couple practice sessions. That is the plan. We're still trying to finalize the pool that we will be using. But if you have access to a pool, you can always practice on your own time. But we know that isn't always feasible for schools, especially maybe around Memphis. So we are working on hosting some kind of practice for individual teams for them to get the hang of their ROV.
So are you going to also have like divisions for elementary, middle, and high school?
I'm sorry.
Are you going to have like divisions for elementary, middle, and high school, or they're going to compete all together?
They are going to compete all together. Don't let that frighten you one bit. Eventually, if we have enough, so let me take that back. If we have enough teams and we have a clear division of age and like school year, we may split it up. But if we only have 5 teams compete, we're just going to throw them all together for the first year.
So are they going to try to complete the same mission, or they will have different missions to complete? So we should. Mm-hmm.
No, you're fine. So the missions rely or are dependent on the actual level. So Scout level, Explorer, those. So with us only hosting a Scout competition, the missions will be the same for everybody.
Okay, even elementary students, it's going to be same?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Those are good questions. Any others? Okay. Well, if whether you're here now or you're watching the recorded session, if you ever do have questions, please reach out to me, Jake, any of us. Our contact information will be on the website. My email is semore6@memphis.edu. Or you can reach out to Dr. Ivy and she'll send it over to the coordination team. So after this meeting, we are going to send out the survey to teachers to see if you are interested and if you want to join us for the competition. And then we're also going to send out an email to determine if you need a kit or if you already have a kit. So about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, back in the fall of 2019, we hosted our first MATE workshop. We had some people come down to host an actual workshop. So you got to build an ROV. And so some schools were able to get some kits. So we're hoping that they want to participate. And so we'll be reaching out to everyone to see if you're new and you need a kit or you want to be a returning school. So we look forward to finally getting this off and moving. It's been a long time since we first talked about it. So we're really excited. And thank you for joining us today. It means a lot. Any last words from the team?
So I also one more question. I have one more question. Also, I help. For example, if we have any questions to design our robot. So since you are like students, are gonna be also able to help our kids whenever
Absolutely.
they like mentoring.
Yes, absolutely. And that is a big part of what West Tennessee STEM Hub does. We do a lot of outreach with the schools. So if you want a more hands-on approach or maybe a younger or student participating at college level to help you and your team, definitely send us a request and we'll find an ambassador to come help you out. Our team we have a lot on our team, maybe between like 25 and 35 ambassadors. So we'll be able to find someone that fits your schedule. Yes, if you want to put your email address in the chat, then we'll record that and make sure you stay in the loop.
Oh yeah, I replied directly.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
also, you fill out that interest form survey that I posted a few minutes ago. There's a field in that for your email address.
I'm not sure if we ever mentioned what MATE actually stands for. So MATE stands for Marine Advanced Technology Education. And then, yeah, ROV is Remotely Operated Vehicle. So in case you were wondering, that's what it stands for. All right, anything else? Well,
No, I just want to say there are 3 other competitions that the West Tennessee STEM Hub is hosting this semester. You all probably got an email from Dr. Ivy about a meeting on March 16th. That's a Tuesday. I think it's from 4 to 5 p.m. and we'll be covering all of those competitions, including MATE, just giving a general overview of those. So if you're interested in having teams compete in those, you can join us there. I will be there. I don't think this whole team will, but other than that, I think that's all we have. Just fill out that interest survey by next Friday, get a feel for how many teams you think you'll have, and let us know if you need anything.
So I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I received that email, and also I tried to register our team for 3D design. I think I'm sponsoring in our school 3D design class. We have 3D print in our school. And every Thursday, I meet with high school students and then we design 3D models. So I applied for that competition, but I did not receive any, so I don't know if they received my application or registration yet. I did not receive any reply yet from the competition. So I forgot the name of the, I think it's
Construction.
So I applied for that, but we did not get response yet for. So I don't know if they receive our registration.
Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now. We haven't done anything with the responses that we've gotten.
Yes, it's not getting yet. That they're saying like we receive your registration or something like that. So I'm wondering, or if I fill out the wrong form, or I just want to make sure.
Right. Well, nothing's showing up as far as responses to that go.
So do you see our school's name?
Do not.
Okay. So maybe the form, maybe it's not working properly. I'm not sure. But I filled it out a couple of times to make sure that I register, my team. But so I did not get any confirmation.
Okay. Thanks
Well,
for letting us know that.
Yeah, what we can do is we can email you. We'll email you and figure out where exactly you are in the process, and we'll definitely take care of that. Yes, but I don't want to keep you. It is Friday. It's almost 5 o'clock. So if y'all don't have any more questions, I guess we could end this here. But if you do, please ask away. I'm not trying to run you off. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. We are extremely excited to kick off MATE ROV at our new Mid-South Regional. So we look forward to hearing from you and filling out that survey so you can get a team registered with the West Tennessee STEM Hub. Okay, thank you so much.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Good weekend, everyone.